Guys, Delu Laguna, Conte, Chelsea's Antonio Conte. At least I hope that's his first name. Yeah, you guys know I've spoken about it on a video before. You know how much I rate the guy. Defensive, the way he sets up his systems, the way he motivates his players, the way he's made Chelsea fans believe again, the way he's made Chelsea fans love someone again. In the sense that you thought Jose was the only person they love. They love more to the point where I rate him even more. All these experts in the first half of the season, up until that point when they beat us, when we beat them 3-0. In fact, you can include that, but that part is relevant. They were calling him a fraud, saying, "Is he this? Is he really good? Anyone can win the league in Italy, so his abilities have been inflated. This, that, and the third." Then turned it all around wherever they were fluttering in the league. Turned it all around first. Got everybody playing free at the back was solid. They did have a little bumps along the line as people they didn't really keep clean sheets towards the end because people started to realise how they would like to play. But they won the league, and in his debut campaign, he's won the league. But I was speaking with a friend who's a Chelsea fan. He knows more about the club. You guys that are Chelsea fans know more about your club than me. I'll never pretend to know more than you about your club. But what I did say to him is what I just said. But one criticism I do, pardon me, criticism I do have of Conte is recruitment. Because if you look at last year, after it doesn't matter which players are better and whatnot. Pursued Koulibaly, the Italian plays centre back that plays in Italy. They were going after certain left backs and right backs and this, that, and the third, and then they ended up with Marco Alonso for an inflated fee, who at first Chelsea fans turned their noses at. There's nothing wrong with that. He's put in some good performances, but he's also put in some bad performances. And from what I was from speaking to Chelsea fans about him, they're not fully convinced of his ability. They're a bit indifferent. They believe he has a part to play, but in regards to first choice, who really knows? Yeah, they wanted Koulibaly and they ended up with Luiz. No disrespect to Luiz by any means. I mean, people thought he was going to be pantomime when he came back to the Prem. Thought he was going to be falling on banana skins, letting in scoring own goals, getting nutmegged, all sorts of comedy stuff. And yeah, they just thought he was going to be a comedian, but it wasn't the case. And he's won the league. And when Chelsea did lose games or did get ripped, he wasn't one of them. Even at the Emirates, Luiz didn't get they all got finished, but he didn't actually get finished like that. So yeah, I applaud him for the way they went and done their thing, even with their target, their second choice targets and things like that. Don't know if I mentioned it, I can't remember. But even Conte got players like Moses, who was stockpiled / didn't have a future at Chelsea, went and done his thing. Again, like Alonso, bit indifferent. They've been linked with Alexandro and Danilo, and if that happens, happy days for Chelsea fans. It's definitely Alexandro is decent. Danilo was decent at Porto. It's been a bit indifferent at Madrid. So who knows? But yeah, it's got to be frustrating for Conte because you're seeing several of his targets go again. So that was one year. Now you're seeing it this year. And I'm talking specifically. There's been a lot, but specifically about Lukaku. Now Costa made his bed and lied in it in January in the sense that we know he's a quality striker, but the whole Chelsea Chinese antics at Chelsea were the straw that broke the camel's back. It was one too many incidences, and Conte didn't have enough. Had enough. There was rumours that the board wanted to keep Costa, but Conte adamant you're finished playing him to the end of the season. But from January, they clearly were on the lookout for other strikers purely because of what Costa did. Costa had a change of mind, and they're still looking for one. And now, what makes Lukaku a source of frustration for Conte is allegedly he's meant to have planned his for next season with Lukaku. And when you consider they've known they going to need a striker from January, Lukaku somewhat's got unfinished business at Chelsea in the sense that it's his boyhood club. He's spoken about how he loves Drogba. He didn't really get a chance, and it was somewhat unfinished business, similar to how Pogba returned to United. He thought it was going to be a similar case of that going back to Chelsea. Yeah, it seemed a sure thing. Guy loves Chelsea. Chelsea needed a striker. Known since January they needed a striker. Could have got the deal concluded. Then, like you normally hear, most of the deals we praise and talk about in the summer were in the makings for over a year. So that could have been over the line. Now to see Jose of all people and United just come and swoop their target and convince him, obviously his agent played a part, must hurt Conte. It must hurt. Now, my friend also said that it's not Conte's problem, it's the people at the top. And I did some research and it makes sense. You've got Uolumo, I hope I said his name right, consistently signing players for no reason. When I say no reason, I mean players like the centre-half from Reading they signed, Atsu. All of these players, a lot of young players, a lot of them are sold for profit. Some are decent profit, some are just pointless, like 1 or 2, 3, 4 mil that some fans like to brag about, which is very pointless. Yeah, it must be very frustrating being a manager. And Jose even mentioned it. I think it was Dilabajo, centre-half, or whatever his name is, that went to Sunderland, he said that wasn't his player. It must be frustrating. Imagine working with players you didn't sign, or seeing a new face and saying, who are you? You'll think he's a fraud. Yeah, it must be frustrating, and it must be more frustrating when he's just won you the league that you can't go out and do things for him. On the basis they've been linked with a lot of right-backs and a lot of left-backs, that's definitely going to be the happy days for Chelsea, and a lot of the Chelsea fans, they do want that. They obviously need a striker because Costa is seeming like there's no way back for his Chelsea future now. So that's about 3 signings, and it must be more frustrating for Conte, in the sense that, of course, I always say you need to move early, but you also need to wait because you don't know what deals are going to happen. But it must be frustrating because I'm not saying Lacazette's going to be a madness, but we've got Lacazette, City of San Bernardo Silva, X, Y, and Z. United have got Lukaku and Lindelof. Liverpool are in the same boat as Chelsea. They haven't really made no moves. But yeah, he's seeing people make moves, and he's not, and his team hasn't. And we know Conte is a very peculiar manager in the sense that he has his close-knit bunch and he'll play them. I also think there's a case for a centre mid because they need more creativity between Matic and Kante, assuming they're still there. I know there's Cess, but it seems to be a bit so-so in regards to Cess and Conte. So who knows? They've got Champions League next year, so they're going to need to make significant reinforcements, and Conte wants to do that, so it must be frustrating. There's rumours they're in links for Timothy, the Monaco centre mid, France international. Not going to try and say his last name, begins with a B. Not going to say it because I'm going to make a fool of myself. But yeah, if there's also talks United want him. So imagine United come and trump Chelsea yet again. There's going to be serious question marks. It's so important that winning the league, we've seen it before at Chelsea, and we've seen it at other clubs. It can go either way the following season. The hardest thing to do is to retain it, purely because some players enjoy themselves a bit too much in the summer because they've won and they're celebrating. Inflated ability. They both, the players and the manager, inflate players' ability because of how they've won the league. So that leads to complacency, which slips into comfort, which where you get burst out your bubble. You cannot afford to get complacent in the Premier League. Not only that, for the simple being sense that whether they sign another centre half, which I think there's a case, a left back, a right back, a keeper, a striker, a midfielder, regardless, if you think your position is under threat, you're going to play better because you want to play on the shirt. If everybody's putting 110 in training, in running, in match days, you're going to have better results as a football club somewhere down the line, isn't it? Like it's important, like. But yeah, guys, there's not really much more to say other than that. I mean, that's just some. I don't even know the point of this video. That's just something I've always thought. At first, I thought it was Conte, his problem with recruitment. Clearly, from the Chelsea fans I speak to, there's issues at the top. Coming from an Arsenal fan, I know exactly how that feels because we've got an incompetent board. I don't really think Chelsea have an incompetent board because whether it's sponsorships, all sorts, they're leading the way. But there's clearly something that's not operating smoothly between the manager and I don't want to call it a director of football, but for the purpose of this conversation, director of football. So who knows, guys? But I'm waffling. The Lagoon, I'm signing out. Thank you for watching. Conte, I rate you, but you must be frustrated. Yeah, I'm out, guys. Comment, subscribe, share it for me.